Hi everyone, this is Arvind from MindMajix, and in this particular video, we will be discussing the most frequently asked interview questions of SAP FICO. Okay, so guys, if you talk about the various modules which are available for SAP, so FICO is one such very popular model. Okay, and we got a lot of requests from our viewers as well around this topic. So we decided to come up with a set of questions. So in this particular video, we have divided our session into two categories. The first set of questions is for freshers, and the second set of questions is for the experienced candidates. Okay, so this is the whole agenda for this particular video. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started with our first question. Okay, so guys, as I've told you earlier, the first category of questions is for the freshers. So these are relatively easier questions. So the first question over here is compare SAP FICO with any general financial accounting and controlling approach. Okay. So guys, whenever in the actual interview you're asked such a question like compare so and so. So what you can do is you can grab a piece of paper and on that paper you can make two columns. Like in this case, you can make the first column for SAP FICO and the second column for the others. Okay. So if you talk about SAP FICO, so in terms of flexibility, SAP FICO is much ahead than its competitors. Okay. So if you talk about other softwares or other tools, so other parallel approaches are not as flexible as SAP FICO. Okay. So in terms of flexibility, SAP FICO is the topmost. The second point over here is there are additional options for accounting, controlling, and integration. Okay. So in case of other platforms or tools, accounting integration is either complex or missing. Okay. So this is a very important point. And the next point is SAP FICO allows multiple currencies to be managed at the same place. Okay. Whereas in case of other softwares, there is no additional option for currency. Okay. So guys, these were some of the key differentiating points between SAP FICO and other softwares. Now let's move to the next question. So the next question is, while handling the SAP FICO for the first time, why is it necessary for the users to pay attention to the exchange rate? So the default exchange rate in FICO is the average rate. So it is not always necessary that everyone needs to use the same FICO in the same manner. Therefore, it needs to be changed as per the requirements. The next question is why the financial statements are important for any business. It simply enables them to keep an eye on the purposes for which a specific amount is sent, including all of its information. So the users can simply keep a digital record of all the funds received or transferred to any other account. So this enables them to prepare documents for the future on which some important plans and decision-making strategies are based. So financial statements also enable businesses to get reductions in taxes in a few cases. Apart from this, the users can access the records of all the financial transactions anytime, whenever required. The next question is, can you name a few modules with which it is possible for the users to integrate financial accounting? So there are several useful modules where it is possible for the users to consider this approach in an integrated manner. So these include material management, sales and distribution, production planning, financial transaction management, and human resource. The next question is, what is year-dependent fiscal year in SAP? So in businesses, it is not necessary that all the months have 30 working days. So depending upon the type of projects, which vary largely, the organizations have to end a month a day earlier or two. For example, the month of May can have 29 days. So the same can be done with an option in SAP, which is known as the year-dependent fiscal year. The next question is, what exactly do you know about the SAP FICO? So FICO basically stands for Financial Accounting and Controlling. So it is basically an important tool that is useful in preparing statements about the finance related to an organization or a business. Apart from this, FICO can also be considered for the purpose of accounting, tax computations, preparing the inventory sheets, financial data storage, and so on. The users need not worry about the security of the data. And apart from this, it makes it very simple to manage and utilize the data in a reliable manner. The next question is a very important question. So the question says, what are the common reasons for errors in accounting and what impact do they actually have on the organization? So errors are of a lot of types and they can be due to a diverse array of reasons. The users can often make mistakes. A single wrong entry of only one digit can bring a lot of issues in the organization, and it can mislead about the profits and losses as well. So errors can be due to negligence of the users, fault in the systems, wrongly prepared bills or claims, gross errors, basing accounting errors, errors due to not updating the sheets, and so on. The next question is, what is the company code and when it is used? Also, what is the limit on the currencies which you can configure? So it is basically a code that needs to be entered into the system when it comes to generating the loss or the profit statements. So it is not always necessary that all the employees are given access to the same. So it is possible for the users to create up to 3 currencies, and among which one generally remains local and the others can be considered as parallel. The next question over here is, how many periods are there in SAP FICO? So there are total 165 periods, among which 4 are considered special or important. So they are generally used when it comes to defining any data that is related to the fiscal year. So a user is free to consider the special period anytime when the need of the same is necessary. The next question is, in the SAP calendar, what exactly is the year shift? So SAP doesn't have any provision to access the broken year. So it only understands the calendar year. However, it is not always necessary that for all the organizations, the calendar year is the financial year. There is often a need to change months. So they need it to be added or removed. So this can be easily done in SAP, and the same procedure is known as the year shift. The next question is, how taxes are taken care of in the SAP FICO. So one of the major issues is the tax slabs, and it is not similar in all of the countries. Also, there are additional taxes applicable there. So SAP FICO has a tax procedure already defined in it for various nations, and the users are free to get the information regarding the same. The tax amounts can be sent to stocks by default, or the users are free to make changes in them as per their requirements and as per their convenience. So thus, taxes are not an issue with SAP FICO. The next question is, what do you know about the substitutions and validations in SAP? So they have generally defined assets for the different functional areas, and they can be accessed through 2 options. The first one is the document level, and the second one is the line level. The next question is, what are the major applications of SAP FICO that you are familiar with? So SAP FICO has major applications for which it is widely popular. So it is widely considered for financial accounting for handling a lot of tasks that matter to the organization. In fact, all the matters in accounting can easily be managed with this approach. It also has applications in asset and cost accounting. The project system accounting can also be managed in a reliable manner. The users are free to consider it for the purpose of consolidation. Apart from this, SAP FICO has large-scale applications in real estate, which is one of the emerging domains across the globe in the present scenario. The next question is, what is WIP in SAP FICO? So guys, WIP basically stands for work in progress, and it basically defines the status of the asset that is under the development model in SAP FICO. So it is possible for the users to customize it as per their requirements. The next question is, can you name a few methods with the help of which the vendor invoice payments can be taken care of? So guys, there are basically options for manual payments that can be made either in cash or through chair-ups. So other options include electronic transfer. The SAP FICO keeps a close eye on all of the transaction made through the latter option when the same is integrated with the accounts. The next question is, what exactly posting key is in SAP FICO and what is its significance? So it is basically an approach that enables users to determine the transaction type among the various possible options in the domain. Generally, it is a 2-digit number when it is entered during the definition of an item. It simply gives an idea about the type of posting, which can either be credit or debit, as well as the type of accounts. Also, the status of transactions can also be recorded by using posting key. The next question is, what is the significance of financial general ledger accounting? So it is used whenever there is need for the organization to access external accounts. So it simply incorporates all of the financial transactions of a business made within a specific time period. The users are free to keep up the pace simply even when the operational areas need core accounting skills or have problems associated with them. The next question is a very important question. What are the biggest benefits that you can have with SAP FICO? So guys, there are many benefits that are associated with SAP FICO. So in this particular question, you can discuss a few of them. So one of the major benefits is accounting data is always correct. The users need not worry about the accurateness of the data. The next one is there is no upper limit on handling the accounts. So with SAP FICO, you can manage any number of accounts, and that too in a very reliable manner. The next point is SAP FICO is very useful in auditing, as an eye can be kept on the transaction that are made by the businesses. So SAP FICO ensures the financial transparency among the organization. The next point is the detailed information about the expenses can be prepared, and the same can then be considered for the purpose of preparing the future budgets. A lot of time and money can be saved with SAP FICO, and the users can make sure of financial outputs that can be trusted in the long run. The next question is, what is the financial statement version in SAP FICO? So it is basically a tool that is used for reporting. So all of the financial accounts can be extracted through it along with all of the relevant information which is required by the users. So it is possible to deploy it for the purpose of generating the outcomes of different agencies that are associated with a business. The same information can then be passed to the concerned authorities for the betterment. The next question is, tell me something that you know about a field status group. So when transactions are done, there are often fields that come up, and this option is used or is enabled when they are not required while handling the tasks. So guys, with this, we have covered the first category of questions, like those questions which were meant for freshers. And now question number 21 onwards, we will be covering a few questions which are meant for the experienced candidates, like those candidates who have at least 2 to 3 years of experience with SAP FICO. The next question over here is, what prerequisites are there which users need to handle when it comes to document clearing? So the first thing is to make sure whether the items get cleared status by the management or not. And the second point is to make sure that the document is valid or not. The next question is, what exactly do you call a short end fiscal year? Short end fiscal year is basically a calendar year that is modified as per the requirements. So this can happen due to a large number of reasons, and the organizations have to adopt the new calendar. The next question is, what is the internal order option in SAP FICO? So it is basically an option that is used to track the overall cost associated with an item or a project. So it is used widely during certain situations and while handling some of the important tasks. The next question is, why asset classes are important in SAP FICO? So the asset class is the primary class that is used for the purpose of justifying the assets. The entire asset category is generally assigned or integrated into one of the asset classes. So it is also possible for the users to use the default values for the same. The next question is, name a few important components of the charts that matter in accounting. So the first and foremost is the main language. Next is controlling the integration level, name, block indicator, GL, account number, and the chart of account key. The next question is, tell me something about the credit control area in SAP FICO. So the credit control in SAP enables the organization to impose a strict upper limit on the credit for the customers. So this can be done by using the option controls that are available in SAP. So it simply makes sure of avoiding the situation such as the risk of bad debts and outstanding receivables. The next question is, what options do you need to fill when it comes to creating the credit control area? So the user needs to provide the controller name, description, currency option to be selected, risk category is to be selected, and then the information about the fiscal variant is also to be provided. The next question is, what do you mean by posting period variance? So it is basically a time frame during which the transaction figures are updated. Generally, it is accountable to control accounting periods that are complex. The next question is, what exactly is the field status? So it is nothing but an approach that is used for the purpose of maintaining the general ledger accounts. So it controls the fields which should provide the information on the concerned accounts. The next question is, tell me something about the parallel local currency in SAP. So organizations are allowed to add 2 or more currency options apart from the local currency. So they can be used in the transactions made at the international level by an organization. The organizations are free to use any 2 options for parallel that they seem to be have needed. So they can be tagged as group currency and hard currency. So guys, with this, we have come to the end of this session on SAP FICO interview questions. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. If at all you have any queries related to this session, then you can write your queries and doubts in the comment section and we will try to resolve them as early as possible. So guys, thank you so much for being with us and I wish you all the very best for your upcoming SAP FICO interview.